Jill, Gigi Austin, is a transformational leadership guide who empowers visionary leaders to rise into true self mastery, becoming a leader in your field. Welcome, Jill.
Okay, here we go. See, all right. I've got the host spotlighted your video. Okay, got it. Hello, Sandra. Thank you so much for that great introduction, and also thank you for that setup for the conference that you just gave us. Um, in my session or this session together on becoming a leader in your field, we're going to actually take the concepts that you talked about and actually kind of go one step deeper. So welcome everybody to becoming a leader in your field. I became known as a trendsetter in my field by leaning into what I call my strengths or my talents or in human design, what I'm designed to do. But the thing that really got me there was doing something that is famously said by Gandhi, which is becoming the change I want to see in the world. And that means, to me, that means going into strategy, but going beyond strategy into what I call either energetic alignment or perhaps embodiment is a more inclusive term for becoming a leader or for embodying the change you want to see. I'm telling you guys, this is a game changer. This is something I wish I had known early in my career because I can tell you that when you combine a mind shift, desire and direction with an embodiment of leadership, it gets you there farther and faster and easier than hustling and striving ever does. Listen, I learned it the hard way and not early. So I'm really excited about sharing this with you. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to tap into your entrepreneurial roots and activate your leadership wizardry to unlock this powerful game changer for you. And did I just say leadership wizardry? Did anybody catch that? Okay, that sounds like magic, right? But you know what is magic but the energy of transformation? And magic, in my experience, people look for these qualities and things outside of themselves, but right here is where magic begins. So, what is leadership wizardry besides some kind of term that we're not really sure about? You know what it is? It's simply the synergy of three things, that is, clear vision, courageous risk taking, and manifesting powerful outcomes. Okay, so vision, risk taking, and powerful outcomes. Sandra just talked about that. Does this sound familiar to you guys? Because as entrepreneurs, I'm telling you, you have already walked this path, right? You've had a vision of something that is really appealing, exciting, bold, new, or deeply, deeply needed in the world. You have taken a risk. Sandra referred to this when she was introducing us to the concept of the workshop. You have left behind something, either figuratively or uh, uh, literally, in order to move forward with your vision, right? You either, perhaps you left a job, maybe you left where you were living, and figuratively, maybe you left something that was comfortable and you knew how to do, but that wasn't what was going to take you farther in your vision. And finally, you have taken some action steps because you have manifested an amazing outcome of some sort. You have a business or a mission, or you have made impact in the world. And so, hey, you are already a leader. You already practicing being a leader. I have a lot of people that say to me things like, I'm not a leader. I don't have that title or whatever, or there's not a ton of people that are working for me, but we're all leaders. We're all leaders of ourselves. That is what I call self-mastery. So today, since we're already leaders, how do we become a leader in our field? And why would we even care in the setting of this workshop on profits and on purpose and on possibilities? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Being a leader in your field acts like a huge magnifying glass, and it amplifies all three of the qualities. And I'm going to tell you how. So, from a purpose standpoint, the more that we lean into our strengths, our talents, the things that we are uniquely designed to offer to the world, the more time we spend in that, we end up more fulfilled and doing the things we love. And from a profit perspective, the more that we lean into those unique things, the more that we attract the business, the clients, the customers that are specifically for us and ready to take advantage of what it is we have to offer. When I worked in healthcare, we would call this serving at the top of your license. So, doctors and nurses, they all get licenses. And so I would show up into the room with my physicians, and I was a good marketer because I was the head of marketing. And I would say, all right, let's talk about how we're going to bring you more patients or more potential patients. And they would look right at me and they'd say, Jill, I don't want more. Be like, whoa, wait, stop. You don't want more patients? They were like, no, no, I'm already busy. I don't want more patients. I want the right patients. I want you to help me find the ones that I can spend time sharing what I went to med school for, what I studied for, what I practice, what is uniquely mine to serve with. And that means I get to spend more time offering that, less time being frustrated and frustrating my potential patients in conversations where they're not really the ones for us. And of course, as we know, the more time you spend with the people that you really are going to serve, the more that adds to your bottom line. So also talk about the amplification again, why become a leader in your field. Um, it really does open doors. It opens up possibilities. Things that maybe you don't even know exist. I know I didn't exist. I didn't know existed in terms of opportunities. I got invited to be on boards. I got invited to help lead some volunteer groups. I got invited to write a book. I even got invited to interview to shift my energy, my industry focus, which is pivoting industries can be really difficult to do. And that was because of what I was known for or the reputation that I had earned. Beyond that, and Sandra talked about this, so we're just going to touch it briefly. But when you become a leader in your field, what you do is deepen your impact. You create a ripple effect through your industry and your field, and that leaves a legacy for you, but it also just amplifies the number of people that are touched by what it is that you are bringing to life. I know for me, I leaned into this whole idea of meeting people where they are. And so, from a literal perspective, from a figurative perspective, in the early days of tech and healthcare, it really meant going online, finding people where they really actually were, and then meeting them in their life where their concerns were. So that concept, I know it sounds like duh, but that concept rippled throughout the field. And that is part of what I am thrilled that more people are able to be met where they are in their health and wellness journey. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're enough of me talking. Now this is going to be your part. So we're going to do some workshop pieces, and I'm going to take us into this concept of future casting. So what is future casting? Okay, that sounds like that wizard stuff again, Jill. Well, okay, in a way it is. If you know the concept of scenario planning, where you are casting ahead into the future and looking at the possibilities of what might happen, we're going to take an energetic twist on that and do a variation on that to embody your next level of leadership. So I'm going to invite you, if you aren't already off screen, you might, if you feel, you're welcome to stay. I'd love to have you stay on screen. But if this isn't comfortable for you to do, you are also welcome to mute your video. Is that the way we call it? Stop your video while we go through this exercise, and then I'm going to invite you back into the room to do some journaling and provide you with some practical tips. Okay, we ready? All right, everybody. So I'm going to invite you now to close your eyes or soften your gaze and take a couple of deep breaths. Feel your feet as it touches the floor or the ground where you are. Take another deep breath there. And then just set aside everything else that's going on in your mind right now. And that's okay. It's all right for it to be there, but just set it aside. To-do list, what's next, what's going to happen. Set that aside and be here in this moment, however it is that you notice you are. Thank yourself for being present here in this workshop, in this overall summit. All right, now I want you to picture yourself moving forward through time. You are going to cast yourself into the future where you, in fact, are the leader in your field. So take a moment just to do that. You might find that you are there right now, or you might be on your way. So again, just picture yourself moving forward through time. And here you are. You're the leader in your field. All right, now, I invite you to look around. Where are you? Who are you serving? What are you known for as the leader in your field? As Sandra mentioned, there may be other people that are there with you. Who might that be? And now picture sort of turning around to face the present self. I want you to take notice, and this is really important. What needed to fundamentally shift to become this version of yourself, this version of you that's gone beyond leader to be the leader of yourself? Just whatever pops up. And now ask yourself, what is one step that I can take immediately to turn in that direction, the direction of the fundamental shift that needed to happen? What is one simple, one small, one tiny step that turns you in that direction? And now draw a line, imaginary line, from the heart of that future you to the present you. Recognize that connection, feel that connection, and breathe in that connection. All right. And when you're ready, I invite you to come back here into the room and jot down what you saw, or you felt, or you realized. What did you become known for? And most importantly, what is the one step you need to take? I'm going to share my screen and just put that prompt up for you. Let's see. Can you all see that? Sandra, can you see the prompt? Okay. What did you see, feel, or realize? And what was that one step that shifted you into the direction of becoming a leader in your field? If you haven't already, rewrite it to say, I commit to that one step, and write that one step out as your one step. This is exactly what Sandra just recommended that we be doing. What's the action? Okay. When you're done writing yourself a note, come on back, write maybe done in the chat just so we know that you're back here with us. Give you another minute to finish up here, a few 30 seconds or so. And as you are finishing up and being done, if anybody would like to share in the chat, what was that like? Anything surprise you? Or was there like a realization that you hadn't known before?
I'd like to share.
Please.
I'm doing it. And it was really nice um, to reaffirm, to strengthen it by imagining it and living it. I mean, this is something that I already do, but it was good to add the extra pieces to it. What do I see, feel, or realize? What do I realize? And then committing to taking the action.
Yeah. Sandra, you're touching on some brain science.
Yeah.
When we use our brain and imagine with our energetics and our brain, we actually create like a new pathways that are seeking to like return to that vision. So thank you for sharing that. All right. And Jennifer said, our life experiences and what we learn from them are our greatest gift to others. Yes, absolutely. Right. Well, thank you everybody for that. So we're gonna do one more. We are going to harness the power of emotions, the energy of emotions, to set magnetic intentions. So as you know, our emotions are contagious, like, right? If you had a grumpy day, what happens? You're feeling grumpy, and then you find that more opportunities to be grumpy seem to like roll towards you. You know, this is a variation on something called selective attention. You may have experienced this. This is just an example. Suddenly you're thinking about buying a red car. And whereas before you haven't seen any red cars on the road, suddenly, boom, there are red cars everywhere. How did that even happen? That's the phenomena of selective attention. So we're going to use that energetically to add this magnetic quality to our intentions. And you may even want to play with the intention that you've already started thinking about. And we'll also talk about the leadership, the being the leader in your field intention. What I want to say to you about intentions is, as Sandra said, it's so important that we can state our goals and we know what our actions are to support them. And a little superpower tip that I'm going to give you is, if you can back up one more step in attention setting and recognize how you want to feel. How do you want to feel when that goal and action steps are happened? That feeling is what opens up the possibility lens of things beyond your wildest dreams. So I want you to experience this for a minute. So once again, if you feel comfortable saying on camera, please do. If not, please, take yourself off camera. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Just take a deep breath into this moment. Now ask yourself, how do I want to feel as a leader in my field when I am aligned with my purpose and I am earning the value of my expertise? How do I want to feel? You may notice words like empowered or energized or confident, maybe free.
Yo, he's doing that.
Somebody's, can you help me mute? Somebody needs to come on mute. So again, how do you want to feel? And I'm using, because we're talking about becoming a leader in your field as an amplifier, having you lean into that. I invite you, if you want to take that intention you set before and think about how you want to feel when you have made that goal or that sensation. Okay, now I want you to just take a minute, remember a time, picture a time when you felt like that. When did you last feel empowered? When did you feel energized or free? Can you picture a time like that? Just feel what that feels like in your body. Feel that sensation. All right. Now come on back, and Caroline's already started us off here. Come on back and write down your magnetic intention. Just jot it down, use the prompt. My intention is to feel, and then whatever it was. And as you do that, I invite you to write, like share a word or two about how do you want to feel when you reach that intention or that goal. When you're the leader in the field, when you are on purpose, when you are receiving the value that your unique gifts and skills are worth. So we have content. Anybody else have a word they want to share? Aligned, confident, empowered. That's strong. Inspired. I also just want to give you a practical tip to go with this. So, practical tip. My intention is to feel confident and that I'm mentoring others to find their purpose. Lovely. Elated. Woo! Connected, excited, creative, intentional. Can you feel the contagion of that energy? That's magnetic intention setting. So, practical tip that goes with us is consider beginning each day with a check-in on this intention, and let that intention shape your energy for the day. Really feel the energy of that intention. A practical tip as we think about the future casting, by the way, is exactly what Sandra shared with us, which is you don't get to be a leader in your field alone. Check in with peers or affinity groups or the people on this call, and make sure you understand like what's going on in your field. What's the buzz? What's the challenge? What's exciting? Evolving consciousness. Woo, okay, exciting. Related, connected, fantastic. All right, so now to take us home, we're going to do another practice, and I love this practice, y'all. This is called, this is a practice to deepen your leadership embodiment through manifestation and claiming. Okay, so once again, you're welcome to go off video if that makes you more comfortable, and make sure you're muted, because I'm going to ask you to say something out loud in just a minute to yourself, out loud to yourself. So close your eyes, please, or soften your gaze. Now, picture it is what it is you're seeking. What are you calling in? What are you claiming? So an example, I am claiming abundance with ease. State it clearly, unapologetically. Say it out loud. I am claiming feel the power of that. Now, once again, I want you to picture yourself opening to receive it. It's going to come your way, opening to receive what you just claimed. And now we're gonna amplify it by doing a manifestation practice, which is a gesture. And if you can glance at the screen, you can see that I'm rolling my hands like this towards me, inviting in that claim. Say it out loud again. As you roll your hands towards your throat and your heart, I am claiming abundance with ease. Okay. Now, seal that with a nod to yourself. Okay, now this is part of the magic. Immediately, once you've claimed something, you go ahead and you give what it is you want to receive. So, for example, if you want to feel abundant, you figure out where can you share your value, your resources, you offer insight. How can you turn around if you want to be empowered? How can you turn around and help someone else become empowered? That feeling of not just how you intend to feel, but as you give it, it amplifies that feeling in you. Now, briefly end with gratitude. Thank yourself and for all that is already unfolding. And then I invite you to come back to us and take a moment and write down what it is you claimed and what you are giving in return. And if you so feel, love to have you share in the chat. Claiming people being kind to their families. Anyone else have something that they would like to talk about that they've claimed or that they've noticed that they can turn around and give that is related to their claim? Ease and flow. Thank you, Anna. And inner peace. Abundance with ease. Okay. Feeling heart connected and aware of giving and receiving. And I will tell you from a practical standpoint that that energy of giving and receiving with gratitude and generosity, that is what multiplies leadership. That is what multiplies your impact. Inspiring others by living my purpose. Absolutely. Okay. Well, we have a few minutes left for questions, answers, or if somebody wants to share what that was like or what they were surprised by or any of that, we'd be happy to hear. So let's see. I can't actually see if anybody, you're welcome to put it in the chat. You're welcome to raise your hand or just come off mute if you have a question.
I loved being able to purposefully and intentionally choose how to feel. Because if I go based on what my automatic is, like that anger spectrum, that stuck conversation that I can get stuck in, I can stay there forever if I allow it to run on automatic. So being purposeful about what is it I want to experience, what is it I want to feel.
Yeah. I'm telling you guys, this is a game changer. So I really hope for you all that you have today experienced what it's like to really align with your vision energetically, to set those magnetic intentions, and also to really feel like you're stepping into your empowerment.
And I would like to share.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this has been rolling around in my head for the last weeks. It's like it's not okay to claim and go for fame and fortune. So I decided that a few weeks ago that I really have to like claim that. And saying it out loud now here with you is like a big no-no. So I'm going for the big yes, yes. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. I would guarantee you you're not alone. So your bravery just helped others feel that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Got a question, a comment here, empowering, thank you. How to let go of self-doubt, fear, and feeling not as knowledgeable as other experts in the same field. That's why we lean into our unique gifts, y'all. That's why we do that. Because there are things that we are only uniquely designed to deliver. So very excited. Sandra, do I put the link in the chat to the free gift, or does they get that some other way?
Nicole will put it in the chat.
Great.
So thank you, Jill,